Hello, welcome to this video. This particular reaction was requested on Patreon via the Sobbing Susan tier. And if you want to request a reaction from me, you can do so by clicking on the link and going to the Sobbing Susan tier. There are a limited number of spots, so make sure you go in and get your request in for this month. Anyway, let's go on to the reaction. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so Jaylene. Hi Jaylene, thank you for requesting MITSKI. It's another artist who I've touched on the channel but haven't yet returned to. So yeah, thank you for suggesting another song from her. This song is Your Best American Girl and it's from the album Puberty 2. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ooh. Okay, starting very simply.
If I could, I'd be your little spoon, fingers forevermore.
I can definitely feel that MITSKI style.
You have so much to do.
I love how it's so bare to start with.
And ahead of me. You're the sun.
It starts off very simply, but you can feel that it's going somewhere. Oh, I like this. There's some cool like filter sweeps and stuff going on here. Okay. Oh! Oh shit, I wasn't expecting it to go there. I love how the beginning section builds a lot of tension and then she just kind of lets it all out with the chorus. Maybe it's to do with her identity, like trying to live up to this feeling that maybe she should be like a stereotype in the US, you know, as an American. Back down, nice. She didn't take it back down there for long, did she? Nice. It's very cool that it ends up kind of being like a rock song, you know. Her voice almost gets completely drowned out by the guitars, doesn't it? Maybe there's this feeling that she's being drowned out by expectations on her or something, you know? And she's fighting to like retain her identity when things are trying to drown her out. Yeah. That guitar sounds really unique actually in the way it's recorded. It's very like, you can hear the attack. Cool. That was really like instrumentally a really interesting song because I think like the temptation is to kind of go wall of sound the whole way through and she very much doesn't do that. She, you know, like the beginning is literally just that guitar, which is recorded in a very like non-tonal way. I think that's kind of the thing that gives it such a unique flavour, this song, is that all the instruments are almost recorded for the noise, for the attack, for like that kind of crisp. You could hear the plectrum on the string more than you can actually hear the tone of the body of the actual kind of guitar sound, and it gives it this kind of biting kind of thing. And then when it comes to the electric guitar, you can hear like the distortion and stuff more than you can hear the tone of the actual music. So it gives it almost like a very dry kind of noise-led production style, which I think is really cool because it gives it like an extra sense of kind of dry desperation, especially like after all that kind of stuff builds up and you get all the tension building and then it goes into like a full frontal distortion-y rock song. It kind of really portrays her what sounds like desperation to me, which is really clever, very, very clever, thought out kind of production. I feel like it's quite easy to just rely on like the kind of loop style music production, but the problem with that is that like you're not necessarily intentionally using production techniques to tell a specific story. You know, you're almost like being inspired by the loop and then creating a song on top of it, which is great and is a really good way to inspire yourself. But this kind of opposite thing where you're using the production to tell the story that you already have, I think is a really cool thing because you can come up with stuff that's very different. And actually, like, I don't think you'd necessarily think to record guitars in that way unless you had this idea of this kind of kernel of like emotion that you're trying to portray with it. Yeah, it's very high level, well thought out kind of production and songwriting. Let's have a look at the lyrics, and then I think that will kind of give me a bit more of an idea as to like why she's chosen these specific, very interesting production choices. If I could, I'd be a little spoon and kiss your fingers forevermore. But big spoon, you have so much to do, and I have nothing ahead of me. Okay. So, yeah. So, is it relationship? That's what's given me, like, little spoon, big spoon, like, cuddling, kind of cute thing. But kind of saying that actually maybe the big spoon person in this relationship is not giving her what she needs. You're the sun, you've never seen the night, but you hear it sung from the morning birds. But I'm not the moon, I'm not even a star, but awake at night I'll be singing to the birds. Don't wait for me, I can't come. Your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I think I do. And you're an all-American boy. I guess I couldn't help trying to be your best American girl. So it seems to be that, like, maybe she's tackling her identity as, like, an Asian American because there's this sense of this boy that she's dating being the all-American, which, like, in my head brings about this kind of stereotype of, you know, white, kind of fairly kind of well-off American dream, you know, man and woman and 2.5 children, nuclear family, in a home, you know, parents get married when they're whatever, lovely housewife, perfect children, that kind of ideal. And it's almost like that family have that very set ideal of in their head of what they expect maybe their son to be, but also maybe what they expect the person their son's dating to be, and she doesn't feel like she can live up to that expectation because her mother raised her differently. She's Asian American, so it's like her mother presumably would have had a different style of upbringing. So she's kind of comparing herself with this other person and kind of feeling like she doesn't match up. You're the sun, you've never seen the night, so it's almost like you're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like Linda Evangelista. So if no one gets Drag Race references, you're not gonna kind of this idea that you're perfect, like maybe the sun shines out of your ass, you know, that kind of thing. That's what we say in the UK. And actually, in comparison, I'm very different. I'm not even a star, you know, I'm not the moon, I'm not even a star. Like, it's not like we're equal and opposite, we're totally different planets, but I still have some beauty in me, you know. I'll be singing to the birds, like awake at night singing to the birds. There's kind of a beautiful kind of quirkiness there, isn't there? Yeah, your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I think I do. That's interesting, isn't it? I do. I think I do. It's like, so there is a doubt, you know, and I think that really does paint that image of like being in that relationship and like saying, yes, I am supportive of I am proud of my heritage and whatever, but actually kind of knowing that underneath the surface there are doubts and there are kind of, you know, there's messaging that's telling her otherwise, you know. You're the one, you're all I ever wanted. I think I'll regret this. Wow, okay. So maybe like she loves this person and she's worried about telling them the truth in case it really does kind of break up their relationship. Because at the end of the day, he can't change the way that he was brought up. She can't change the way she was brought up. And maybe she's kind of thinking maybe it would be better just to, you know, leave it. But yeah, cool. I love that. It has so much nuance to it. Like, not only is it telling the story of her relationship with this person and her own self-doubt and, you know, all those kind of trappings, but it's also has this kind of meta narrative of how maybe second generation Asian Americans, second generation immigrants in general are kind of have this kind of very specific expectation put on them that doesn't actually align with the way in which they were brought up and can make them feel in a big way, but also in a very small way in terms of like person to person level, it can make them feel very out of place. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, very nuanced, very clever. I love it. Yeah, I mean, usually like my musical tastes are more musical, and that song kept it simple chord-wise on purpose, right? And obviously I appreciate the sound of it really painting the picture, but in terms of my preference, I think I prefer stuff that's a bit more like full-bodied and rich musically, but that's just a preference thing. Amazing. Thank you so much for all those suggestions, and obviously thank you so much for supporting the channel and for supporting me via Patreon. So thank you like so much for your support, because actually the Patreon is really making my life as kind of like, you know, budding songwriter and producer, making it so much easier for me to just live and pay my rent. So yeah, thank you directly. Thank you so much to you guys. Yeah, and if you want a whole album, that's there. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys. I will see you later. Bye.